Hello. Welcome to Healing by Summer mini healing May 1st. Can you believe it's May 1st? It's like, wow. So it's going to be a good night. I can just tell. So hope everybody's doing well. The sun finally appeared after not appearing for many, many days of cold and rain. I think we had a lot warmer days in February. Oh, there's Robin. Welcome, Robin. So right now I've got chat turned on, so it's supposed to merge people from YouTube and Facebook and put it on the screen for a short time. We'll see if it keeps going. So there's Amanda. And Francine popped in a few minutes before I started, and of course I'm such a skimmer. I don't always read things very thoroughly. So I thought she was going to miss tonight. I just assumed she thought she was late, but when I reread it, I realized she said she couldn't make it tonight. So she will be missed. And there's Marina. Welcome, Marina. Glad to see everyone. So we will start our first healing pulse in about 3 minutes. So everybody's so quiet. But I don't know, does anybody do things for May 1st? When I was a little kid, which was quite a long time ago, you deliver little flowers to your neighbor. You leave it on their stoop or hang it on their put a little basket on their screen door, and then you knock or ring their doorbell and run away. But that was like a May Day kind of thing. I don't know if other people do that, but I think I mainly probably did it once. So I wonder if it was a teacher from school that encouraged that. But I was, I don't know, 7, maybe 6. But yeah. Don't have a lot of new stuff for tonight. We'll just do sort of a individual healing and some group healing and healing pulses. So if you want anything in particular, let me know. I have one little dog with me, Dexter. He's right here under the covers. So, and it's been so cold, he's wearing a t-shirt and his winter jacket. So trying to think what else. I haven't read anything good lately. Haven't watched any really good movies. Been just busy with life. So I've been doing a lot of self-healing, which for those of you who are healers might know sometimes self-healing is harder than anything you've ever done. And sometimes it doesn't work. So typically that means you reach out to find someone who can help you who does. Although many of my healer friends, that's why they became healers. They worked on themselves. So yes. So we've got 1 more minute. So we're going to start with our first healing pulse of the night. If you are new, the amazing thing about the healing pulse is it goes where you direct it. And it could go somewhere physical. It can go somewhere emotional. And it's all about intention. So if you have something physical going on, that's where you'll want to direct the energy. But if you've got something emotional or you're feeling extra anxious, think about where do you feel the emotion or where do you feel the anxiousness, because that's where you'll want to send the healing energy. So let's get started. So I've already talked about figuring out where you're going to send the healing energy. Now let's just do it. So to start, I like rubbing my hands together because it activates the healing energy in my hand. And so I want you to rub your hands until they're warm and place them exactly where you want to receive the energy. Oh, and Marina talked about what they do for May Day. Nice. Marina's in Croatia, so she is up like pretty late. Oh, and there's Anne Marie, one of my favorite Canadians. Welcome, Anne Marie. So very interesting what Marina wrote about what they do for May Day. That pastry sounds very nice, Marina. Okay, back on track. So you've got your hands that are all warmed up. Now put them exactly where you want to receive the energy. Or if you don't really have a certain place that you want to receive the energy, I suggest send it to your heart. Or sometimes I send it to my head. Or if I'm feeling sort of like, well, what happens if I do this? Sometimes I send it to my third eye. So with this, after your hands are placed, I want you to imagine my hands are on yours. So you're getting my healing energies and frequencies, and you're also getting your own. And then the most important thing is just allow the healing to flow. And just with each breath in, imagine the healing going a little deeper, a little further. With each breath out, imagine you are releasing something that needs to be released, releasing something that doesn't belong, or just making it easy for more healing energy to come in. And if you're into structured breathing, this is a great place for it. So oftentimes I just suggest people do the box breath, which is 4 count breaths. So breathe in for a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold for a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Release for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it just starts again. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Hold for 4. And in the meantime, just feel the energy flow. Some people feel tingles. Some people feel more of a warmth or a cold. Some people feel sort of a lessening or a lightening of the energy in that area that you're sending it to. So we'll do it for just one more minute, and then we'll do 2 more later tonight. Okay, so that was our first healing pulse. As I said, we'll do 2 more. I try and do one about 30 minutes in. Lately, I seem to run a little late, but then we'll also do one about 45 minutes in. And then at the end, we usually end with like an aura strengthening exercise. So I've got my book to enter everybody's things you want to work on. Would you believe it is show number 156? And so when I look at because May is a special month for me, May 7th, 2020 was my first show. So, and that was only on Facebook Live. I didn't have a YouTube channel then. So, sort of cool. there's Amy. So welcome. So I'm starting my list. So if you've got things you want to work on specifically, put that in the comments, what you're wanting to work on, and I'll write it down, and then we'll get started. So I think the lists I'm going to use today, I always have my emotion code list, but I also have one that's called emotions, sensations, and behaviors. And then I've got one that's called discordant energy. All right, so Anne Marie. I'm going to work on resilience. So that sounds like a good one for you, Anne Marie. All right, Amy. Hip and back. Renee. Financial freedom for everyone be wonderful. Robin, detox support. Yep, depending on what type of detox. If you don't do it quite right, it can have other things go on that you maybe not want. Is it Marie? She's got head and jaw. Few new people, so welcome. Ashley? I think everyone needs that, Ashley. Ashley's asking for patience and empathy when parenting. All right, Marina's going to work on whatever is best. We'll see what comes up. That'll do, Robin. So drink lots of water because that'll help detox. Especially with the chiropractor work. Regina wants inner peace, surrender to divine guidance. If you do and just want to watch and later on decide you want to put something in, we can do that. So at some point in the evening, I will stop. So make sure you get your request in. But I always get through everyone on the list. All right, so Anne Marie wants resilience. That sounds very nice, Anne Marie. So let's see what list I'm going to use. So we're going to use this. So, and anyone who's familiar with the work by Dr. Bradley Nelson, the emotion code. So that's sort of how I started with working on this kind of thing, but then I've sort of taken it and expanded it and do much more with lists. But I always give him credit because that's where I started with muscle testing and tuning in using that. All right, so Anne Marie, I'm showing there was an event that the theme was about hostility. Let me get an age, and maybe you will know what it was that was going on then. around age 28. So ages are typically the hardest. So usually I'm within a year for most things. So 27, 28, 29. So hostility, Anne-Marie. And so with this, I will go ahead and release. So for those of you who have had private sessions with me and I've shown you how to release, usually I teach you with this over the head release going and working with central meridian. But when I'm just doing work like tonight, or if I work on myself, or if I'm doing a release on someone else, I snap it away. And with that, I like it because it's quick. But with new people, I like teaching the overhead method because it's very physical. And I get people who really feel things. And so some of them, as they're doing this intention of releasing the energy of whatever it is that we're working on, sometimes they feel sort of a lifting and a lightening and a release. Although I've got one client, so when she does this, she often can tell me the event that triggered this, whatever it is that we're working on, who was there, what was happening, down to the finest detail. But she's very unique. All right, so Anne-Marie, I've got hostility has been released. And so if you do healing, just support the release and encourage it. And if you do release work too, do that on your end too. I've found I can typically release things, but sometimes there's some residual energies that are left. And I've just realized this in the past year and a half. And so if you help release, or even if you don't have healing in your background, just lend support, say a little prayer, or just focus on total release of the energy of that issue. So Marina said, did you make your own list of emotions? So actually I have not, because I have so many other lists. Like my biggest list comes from here, and this is by Stephen Keller. He's an amazing healer. And this one I use pretty regular for him. So this one has a list of positive emotions. When I do my pick your positive emotion and I'll pick more, that comes from his stuff. So the positive emotions have, maybe 200. Now the negative emotions, he's got 3 full pages of emotions. The third page isn't quite so full, but it's a lot. And this is his negative beliefs. And he's got quite a few things in his packet that I don't use. But then I've got like other themed kind of things too. So this is a discordant energy chart. And then I've got an inherited emotion chart. But I've got quite a few themes. And usually I just sort of pick 2 or 3. So I'm not spending so much time working through them. So let me just check. Amy is next. So she's got hip and back. Thank you for your question, Marina. Let's see if the same issue is causing both, or they're separate. Are they separate? No. Okay, so we can release something. Let's see what list I'm using. So I'm going to use... Okay, I just had it. I don't have that many papers here. Okay, we're going to use this list. Sorrow, Amy. Let me get an age. We'll see. Thank you, Marina. And thank you, Anne-Marie. So let's see. What age sorrow for Amy? So around age 23. So something 22, 23, 24. So sorrow can be something you're sad about, or it can be sort of an extreme loss, like, possibly death, but it could be a loss of a lifestyle. Say you moved and you miss your friends and family of your old place. So there's a lot of things that could go into being sorrowful. So let's release that. So tuning into sorrow for Amy and releasing it. So with this, when I release, I also feel things with healing pulse energy too. All right, so I'm getting that released. Renee is next. Renee is really wanting some financial freedom. I think, yeah, I would like that too. So let's see what comes up. Negativity. So with negativity, the last few years, there's a lot of negativity around. So I'm going to see if this is tied to a particular event or it's just sort of invaded Renee's life. So let's see. Was there an event that was really negative? I do get yes, Renee. So let me get you an age and maybe you'll know what this is. Getting like around age 36. So somewhere 35, 36, 37, somewhere in there. So let's get rid of the energy from this event. Okay, that has been released. All right, Robin is next. So Robin's doing some detoxing and sounds like you're having a little bit of a rough day. So let's see if there's any trapped emotions that will help this. And I do get yes. So let's see what that would be. So when we do the healing pulse next, Robin, I would think, especially if you're hurting all over, imagine you're sort of in a bubble. And you're just sending the healing pulse to everywhere that needs it. And so the healing pulse is my personal thing. I didn't know about it before, gosh, how long has it been? 4 years? And it's something that I started doing it with a friend of mine who had chronic pain, and she would come and see me in my office. She even had a device that would help her with pain, and she got so much better. She had the device removed, and then she had some emotional trauma, and the pain came back, which that's pretty common, that if there's emotional trauma that you don't deal with, it can trigger more layers to pop up. And so she had texted me, and I think I was even driving, and she was in terrible pain. And so she had, trying to think, I was driving, so I wasn't really texting, but I had pulled over and I was on my way somewhere too. So I pulled over for just a minute and I text her back and I say, okay, we're going to try this healing pulse through text. And I said, I'm going to give it to you for like 3 minutes. And so I did, and it helped her. So we continued to do, work like that. When things got really bad, she would text me. And then I started doing, I think I did some sort of free little shows where people would call in and I would just work on one-on-one. And it wasn't until 2020, I think, that I started doing the group healing pulses. So, and I constantly check and see, like, what is it? So, because it has changed through the year. And most of you know I'm sort of a big Reiki person, but it doesn't contain any Reiki energy. It contains my personal healing frequencies and an training that I've done in something called Shambhala multidimensional healing, although they changed the name to something that just doesn't resonate with me. So I still call it Shambhala, even though it's not called that. And then it used to have a little bit of quantum touch healing, which I do, but not very much of. So yes, that's a little background. But going back to Robin, let's see if we can help her detox. My favorite word, Robin, it's peeved. Nobody ever says peeved anymore, unless they're like old PBS mysteries or something. Let me get an age for peeved. 26, Robin. So somewhere 25, 26, 27, some type of event. You are welcome, Marina. Thank you for asking. So let's release peeved for Robin. So that did release. So Robin's a healer. So Robin, as you work on sending the healing and the energy and the intention to yourself, just breathe in deep and imagine the healing going deeper. There's Donna. Welcome, Donna. All right, I think it's Marie, M-A-R-E, head and jaw. So are these all one issue? Yes, so let's see what comes up for Marie. So this one for Marie is judgmental. So there was an event that there was a lot of judgment around it. And so let me get an age, and maybe this will make sense too. Getting like around 24. So Donna, if you have anything you want to work on, I'm still taking people from my list. So judgmental. So let's. Wonderful, Donna. I will add patience. Wonderful, Robin. I love that feedback. All right. So with judgmental, because it could be we're judgmental, and it could be we're judgmental of others or even ourselves, because we are our worst critics. Or somebody could be judgmental of you, Marie. So let's see, is there an obvious choice with that? Yes. So is it others being judgmental of Marie? Yes. Versus she being judgmental of others? No. Herself? No. So there's some type of judgment against you, Marie. So let's release that. So focusing on releasing that. Okay, so I'm getting that released. All right. Let's do our next healing pulse. And when we come back, we're going to work on Ashley, Marina, Regina. Ooh, thank you for that link. All right, so with this, especially the people that wrote in with physical issues, so like hip and back, detox, head and jaw, those are the places you actually want to send the healing energy. You're very welcome, Marie. All right, so think about where you want to send the energy. Rub your hands together until they're warm. And then place your hands exactly where you want to receive the energy. And then just start breathing. So breathe in for the healing and breathe out for the release. Just imagine the energy flowing. And with some people, they do feel more of a pulse or a tingle. Other people just feel more of either a temperature change or that area gets looser. Oh, my helper's coming. This is Duncan. You're going to help us heal? Good job. Okay, we'll do one more minute. So just keep breathing that healing in and releasing what you need to release. Okay, so that was healing pulse number 2. We'll do one more. All right, so Ashley is looking for patience and empathy when parenting. So many of you are parents, and I know you can resonate with that or did resonate when your children were little, especially, or when they were teenagers. All right, so we're going to look at this. So I'm getting persistence. So oftentimes what comes up is typically more of a emotion that can be more physical, but I'm going to do some more questioning on that for you, Ashley. Let me get an age, and maybe this will make sense too. Although sometimes things just don't make sense because not everything in life makes sense. But it's nice if it does sort of match up with your life. So I'm getting around age 23. So somewhere 22, 23, 24. So with persistent, is that considered negative? So is there something around that age, Ashley, that you just couldn't take a step back and let go? You're sort of over the top. And I think somehow that energy makes it harder to take a step back with the patients. Hard. Yeah, very hard as a single mom, especially at that age, so young. So let's focus on releasing the energy, and then imagine after we release it that you feel a flood of patience and love. Okay? All right, so releasing and removing persistent, that's negative, because sometimes persistence can be such an amazing thing. So we don't want to touch that. But there was some type of event, and I'm not getting it's about your daughter, though. as far as having her, but it's something else. But so I'm going to release it and just imagine patience and love flowing in. Okay, I'm getting that released. So, and sometimes with these energies and events that come up, sometimes things will come to you later, but other times it's not meant to be. All right, Marina is next. Marina wants to work on whatever is most important for her to work on. So let's see. I'm getting guilt, Marina. Let me get an age for you. Around age 23. I think 23 is the age of the night. It's funny, some shows there is a good percent that have like the same age. So because we had 28, 23, 36, 24, 24, 23, and 23. So within a year, so 22, 23, 24 for your Marina. Let's release guilt. And so just imagine that ebbing away, Marina. And something better and more important and positive filling up that space. All right, Regina is next. She's looking for inner peace and surrender to the divine. So with this work, usually I work on, releasing things that are preventing this. But with hers, because it's such a positive thing, I did check to see if there's something that we can just focus on that just keeps expanding inner peace and surrender. But I'm getting with this, we're better focusing on a release, which will automatically allow the inner peace and the surrender to increase. So let's see what comes up for Regina. Frustration. So let me give you an age, and you might know what was going on around that age, why you were frustrated. So let's see. So I'm getting around age 19. So somewhere 18, 19, 20. So we're going to go ahead and release frustration. And as it lifts and releases, I want you to imagine inner peace and surrendering to the divine, expanding and filling that up. So releasing frustration. Okay, I'm getting frustration has released. All right, Roseanne. Let's see, persistent pain. Right hip. We'll see what comes up. Sometimes it's just not one thing. Well, most of the time it's not just one thing, but layers of things. Amanda, did I miss you? Let me go back and look. Let's see. No, I don't have you on the list. So I'm going back. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. Thank you for saying something, because sometimes when I'm writing, things scroll and I miss you. So I appreciate you letting me know. So Amanda, I'm adding you to the list. Remove causing fear. All right, so Donna needs more patience. Let's see what we can do to help Donna. So this one isn't quite as obvious as some of them. It's just the word closed. So let me get an age, and maybe this will make more sense to you, Donna. Getting 19. So sometimes when you're closed off to things, it's a very physical thing. Other times it's more of an emotional issue. Let's see. With this, it's more emotional. So let's release this and then imagine patience flooding in to where that feeling of being just closed off and separate. So that did release. All right, Amanda, you are next. You want to remove whatever it is that's causing her fear. Do you hear that noise in the background? That's little Dexter. So, and as I said, sometimes things link up, and other times it makes you wonder and ponder. So, the one that comes up for you, Miranda, it's an odd one because the list I'm using for you is called Emotions, Sensations, and Behaviors. So I like this because it's not always just emotions, but it's more of a behavior. And this is, I think, my only list that talks about behaviors. But it comes up with too serious. So let me get an age. Let me see. Wow, thank you for that feedback, Regina. I'm really hoping that does help you. So, okay, so looking for an age for Amanda. "23 again. So 22, 23, 24. Something where you were really super serious, and I hear the word like tight in my head. So it's you're sort of locked down into this, whatever it was. And the fear is sort of similar. You're sort of locked into it. So let's release the too serious. And then I want you to imagine as it releases, your whole body, mind, spirit loosens, which allows the fear to loosen and lift. Okay, so we're going to release and remove too serious. Okay, that did release. Let me know about that, Amanda. That's definitely a unique one. Okay, Roseanne. Roseanne's got persistent pain in her right hip. And let's see what comes up for that. So I'm getting terror. Let me get an age. You are very welcome, Ashley. So yes, I mean, because sometimes persistent can be a super good trait, but this was just it was too much. So I'm hoping, releasing it allows you to be a little bit more free. All right, so let's see. I'm looking for an age for Roseanne. Terror. Sometimes terror is such a serious word, so it might not be that serious. It might be just you were sort of extremely freaked out or, in fear. But let's see. And part of that depends on what age you were, too. So let's see, and the situation. So yeah, you were 8. So somewhere 7, 8, 9. And sometimes it's a horrible thing that people experience. But other times there are things that an 8-year-old doesn't understand, and so it makes it even more scary when maybe an adult would see it and it wasn't. So explore that just a little and see what type it was for you through your adult eyes, but also give that 8-year-old hugs and support for the fears from that time. So let's go ahead and release that. And I've got a book, and I've had it on here quite a few times, but it's in my tiny office, which is across the yard. But there are emotional reasons why certain things happen to certain areas, like right hip, knees, arms, heart. Um, but okay, so that is going to be it for individual healing. Let's do one more healing pulse. And then I think I'll do a few group things with negative beliefs. And then we'll do aura strengthening, and just to see if anyone has any other questions. Does that sound good? Good, Amanda. I'm hoping sometimes, like tonight, as we're releasing things, there is a gargantuan shift. And things just stay better. But just know that sometimes there are layers to what's going on within us. And especially if we release something and you're doing good, but then something super stressful happens, sometimes another layer will pop up. And I hate that because you never quite know if there's something else, because when it's not causing you trouble, you think life is great, not realizing that there's some things that haven't been dealt with that could bubble up. And stress is a big trigger that brings things into our awareness. So let's do our next healing pulse. So those of you that have been dealing with the physical things, I suggest keep working on those areas and see, because generally people get better with each pulse. And usually the second or third pulse has you'll notice the biggest effect on you. Okay? So I want you to rub your hands together until they're warm. Place your hands exactly where you want to receive the energy. Now, I didn't tell you this earlier, but if you can't reach it, there's a spot in your back that's not very comfortable to put your hands, imagine your hands there. And then imagine my hands there. So you're getting my healing energies and yours. And just start breathing in that energy. So breathe in that energy. So the deeper the breathing, the deeper the healing goes in. And then as you're breathing out, Imagine that you are releasing something. Sometimes what you release isn't even yours, but it's things that have affected you. Okay, so that was our third and final healing pulse for the night. Let me know how you did with them. Did you notice a difference from the first one to the third one? All right, so what time is it? 7:56 here. So we're going to do, so this is some group work. And the interesting thing about group work is oftentimes when a group of people show up, they have some similarities. And so with these negative beliefs, usually whatever comes up, I find at least half of you who are watching and participating here now or watching on the replay will have the negative belief that comes up. Good, Amanda. And that's, especially as things build, that's very common, that third one. But then there's some people that the second one is more helpful. So let's see how many negative beliefs we're going to work on tonight. Usually it's just a handful. So we're going to do 3. And so with this, I'll tell you what the 3 are, and then I'll tell you what % of people that are watching the video have. So let's see. So this one, first one is I am flawed. So with this one, I believe this for myself, but my attitude is I don't want to be perfect. That is so much stress and pressure. So, but the people that need this released feel bad that they have flaws. So let's see what % have this. 55%. All right, let's see what else. Next one is I am mistaken. This is one of mine. I claim it. So maybe not so much now, but when I was younger. So let's see. How many of us have this one? 65%. All right, the last one. Let's see what that is. The last one is I am not whole. Sorry, now that was Dexter. When there's people outside, they think they've got a bark at them. Drives me a little crazy. Okay. So when I think of I am not whole, it's sort of a feeling or a thought that there's something missing within you. And for most people, no, you're not really missing anything. You are perfect just the way you are. But I think especially women have this where they feel they're not enough. So let me see what percent this is. I think it's 70%. All right, so let's get rid of these. So if you want to assist me, that would be fabulous. So we're going to release and remove first I am flawed. So that released. Next, we're going to work on I am mistaken. So that did release. Next, I am not whole, releasing that. And if you put something in the comments and I missed you, please let me know. Because I am definitely not always perfect. Want to be, but okay. So that released all of them. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to do our aura strengthening. Wow. Interesting, Donna. So that was sort of right on. So imagine that 19-year-old getting the love and support of you now. Interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Donna. So, okay, so we're going to end with aura strengthening. The fabulous thing about aura strengthening is a strong aura helps repel negativity. And as you know, we live in some pretty negative times, even when you're really focusing on the positive. And so with that, I highly encourage you to work with your own energies, but I am totally open and allowing for you to add in healing pulse energies if that's what you would like. And so to activate these energies, if you're going to just use your own frequencies, just rub your hands together and focus on your own energies. If you want to add in the healing pulse energies, it's all about intention. And so just set the intention that you're pulling in your energies and the healing pulse energies. And once your hands are warm, then start beaming this outside of you. So imagine you've got this bubble around you. Although I always do this way, but I do wonder if part of me wonders if I should do it, in. But part of it's just intention. So I'm intending that my aura gets stronger because I'm doing this. And so I'm imagining the aura getting thicker and stronger, more resilient. And I also imagine little flecks of mirror. So that way, if I meet someone who is sort of spewing some negativity, that it also reflects back to them. Oh, just in time, Joan. We're just doing the aura strengthening. And so as you're doing this and strengthening, think about what you want to fill up here. So do you want to fill in joy, love, strength, unconditional love? Think about what you need as you're fully protected. What's going to make you feel good? Okay, so that was our aura strengthening. Let me know how you did. So as I said at the beginning of the show, this is like my 4th year anniversary of doing the shows. I haven't decided if I'm going to do something extra. When I started, I did things weekly. And then for the last year, I've switched to monthly. And I'm not sure. Sometimes I miss doing it weekly, but it was sort of exhausting. But I haven't quite decided what's best, because it's sort of fun too. And I meet people from all over. So next month, June 1st, what day of the week is that? So it's always the first of the month. So next month, June 1st, is a Saturday. So, and it's always 7 Central Time. So, on that note, I think I'm going to log out. So, I hope everyone had a good evening doing this. Let me know if you have any questions. If you haven't had a session with me and would like one, there are bookings available at csummerjones.com. It's on the bottom of your screen. Thank you, Ashley and Marina and Regina. So I do also free consultations through Zoom if you would like that. A typical private session for me includes like things like this, but like tonight I focused on things that were very quick so I could help as many people as possible. I also do Dolores Canid method, past life regressions. I teach Reiki on Zoom. I work with entities, entity removal. So, and usually a session with me has a lot of different components that we figure out underlying reasons for it. We don't just focus on the outcome, but the whys. So wonderful. I'm glad you all made it tonight. So thank you. Thank you. And I hope to see you next month, if not sooner. Have a good night.